The Matrix is not a movie. The Matrix is real life. Everything in that movie is basically a mockery of all of you people out here living trapped within the Matrix, which is the slave consumer system constructed around you by the likes of Kellogg's, all these major food conglomerates that run every single food product you eat in the entire world. Almost everybody on the planet, bar none, is trapped into this slave consumer system of food and good items, and you live your lives based upon that. That is what the Matrix is. You are living within the Matrix. There is people like me out there who have hacked out of the Matrix and have escaped entirely the consumer mindset. This can pretty much only be done through religion, because religion is the only thing that can give you purpose to be able to escape this consumer mindset, which is the reason none of you ever escaped the Matrix. I can hack into the Matrix and affect you people every single day and work to bring the Matrix down. I am Neo. I am the one, and I'm going to bring this fucking shit down. I don't care what you think about that. Now, Neo in the movie most likely represents the Antichrist, so that you could forget about comparing me to the actual movie. I'm the real-life Neo. Okay, we could hack into your Matrix and get you out of there anytime we want. All we have to do is have the right messaging and the right way to reach you. And we can't... Okay, you know when Neo first gets contacted in the first movie by Trinity? Okay, they say that's through a computer, but in reality, it's just us reaching out to them and turning the light switch on for them to make them see what this reality actually is. That's taking the red pill, and we have the ability to make people do that. That is why they fear us. That is why they hide our communications on social media. You can think of the agents in the movie in terms of things like the Facebook censors that got me permanently removed from Facebook just for talking my own thoughts. Like, literally, people just came on my page and just started reporting everything I say, as if I had as if I pushed anything at all onto them. That is the form. That is an agent in real form. Agents exist all around you in numerous forms. Basically, anyone who works in the government bureaucracy is a Matrix agent. They all have different levels of power. There are some you will never see. They're like ghosts, just like the ghosts in the Matrix movie. They're as badass as those motherfuckers are, too. The Matrix was a documentary. You people call that movie, what's it called? The Mike Judge movie. Mike Judge is one of my heroes, kind of, even though he's a bit satanic. But that movie, the Idiocracy. Okay, you people call that real life? That's not fucking real life. That's you right now. Idiocracy is literally you right now walking around with a can of Gatorade. The joke in the movie Idiocracy is Brando grows plants. Well, you're the plant, and Gatorade is growing you, and you're not growing because you're drinking the goddamn Gatorade and you think it's healthy. I have almost never met a person who actually knows that Gatorade is a completely unhealthy drink that is going to make you fat, has no purpose whatsoever for athletics. If you actually think the ingredients in Gatorade can make you have athletic performance improve, like, you're out of your mind. You're stuck in a matrix so deep you wouldn't even know where to begin. That's why I'm here, to get you out of there. I'm the one, buddy. Okay, now I'm going to go into programming. In the movie The Matrix, they program anything they want into themselves by jacking into the Matrix and learning it. Well, that's the same exact thing you do in real life. You literally just do things, and they become innate skills within you. Your life will be better if you make skills for yourself to conquer it. You can't just sit back and rely on a consumer product to do everything for you. That is why you have nothing in your life, because you rely on nothing to do something for you. You can't produce nothing from nothing. You can't produce something from nothing. You have to build from scratch to create something, and that's what programming is, and that's how you escape out of the Matrix. The consumer slave system that is known as the Matrix wants you to be lacking skills completely, so you rely on the system to keep yourself alive from birth to death. You alone are responsible for doing so by programming yourself to skills to do so. There's unlimited skills you can learn. I myself have run at least 50 different programs on myself in the past 2 years. The first one I started with, and the most important, is NoFap. You can't do anything as a person if you are addicted to masturbation and fornication. If you can't look at the other person across from you and love them and not have a sexual desire for that person that is born out of something other than a deep, deep emotional connection that you share with that person, you won't get anything out of this goddamn life, and you ain't going to be able to ever feel that if you watch pornography and fall to the sins of fornication, masturbation, and all that. It's just, I know I sound preachy here, but it's just a thing to do with bodily and mind control. Like, you can easily be subjected to mind control if you masturbate. You have no idea what that portal opens up your body and mind and soul to. That's just one of numerous examples. But another program I've run on myself is I've learned basically every Athlete X program you can learn. They're all on YouTube. You know, I got ripped for free on YouTube. I literally got jacked to where, like, anybody that sees me take my shirt off is going to be like, damn, this dude's fucking jacked. And I did it for free on YouTube. Now, I ended up buying his $100 programs, a few of them, and those get better results, but you could get massively in shape on just Athlete X programs on YouTube. Then there's knees over toes guys. I'm gonna be dunking a basketball soon. I'm 5'9". I guarantee you I'm gonna dunk by the time I turn 34. I might even be able to dunk right now. I just haven't tested myself. I'm actually, the very next program I'm seeking to add to my programming list is I'm going to master Bruce Lee's daily workout. It's documented. It's online. I've already watched the videos. Now what I just realized is that the reason Bruce Lee made it like that was because he was brilliant enough to design an incredible workout program that pushed your muscles to boundaries that you don't know anything about. I do, but I'm not there yet. I'm not on Bruce Lee's level yet, but I'm going to get there by programming myself. But the thing I just realized about Bruce Lee is he traveled so much that he made his workout something he could do anywhere, just standing still, basically. It required almost no room and nothing more than his body. And that's why it was so brilliant. He could travel the world and stay as fit as a fiddle by just a simple routine that he's developed through discipline. That's programming. The Matrix system doesn't want you to program yourself. It doesn't want you to jack in and learn. It wants you to be a docile, living in your pod. Like, that's literally what you people are. When they're living in their pod in the Matrix and they haven't been born yet, that's essentially what you people are doing when you're going through this life. You're just eating the Reese's peanut butter cups and the Papa John's pizza and all that crap, and like you just rely on your little comfort zone, and you've never once broken out of it. And every single time a person asks you to break out of it, you respond completely negatively. I have spent nothing but the past 10 years of my life being received with this. You people have told me to approach everybody from a different angle, whatnot. The only angle you could possibly get through to a person is to wake them up by lighting a fire under their ass, and I don't care what you think about that, because the only way you can ever get anything out of this life is by lighting a fire under your own ass. You have to burn yourself. I watch the trash, it burns slow. That's what you guys been doing. You burning slow like a fucking trash pile in your little pod, fucking eating the goo. And your food is a goo. Like, you look in a grocery store, that shit is Matrix food. Like, an Oreo cookie is not real. That is just a pile of goo. If you fed that to a person 100 years ago, they would violently throw up because they have no connection to it on any level. Their digestive tract would explode from this because it's literal goo. Like, you think that's flour you're eating. It's not fucking flour. It's just a pile of goo. They throw the flour in to make the goo, but it's still just a big pile of goo. You're eating the Soylent Green, and there actually is people in this stuff to let you know. So that's part of the Matrix thing, is all these movies you saw, they're all true. Soylent Green is true. I can prove to you that there's dead babies in almost everything that you eat. Like, literally, they have aborted babies, and I laugh. But it's one of those things where you laugh and you cry at the same time. I mean, You can tell my laughter is quite a wide variety of laughters if you watch my videos enough and hear my different styles of laughter. I have a different tone of laughing for every state of being that I have, and you just kind of heard my disheartened laugh there. So, but yeah, everything in your life is the Matrix. I could point to endless examples. Every single government bureaucrat is a Matrix agent of some level. Like they work just like the movie. Like, you remember them ghost dudes, them fucking badass ghost guys, and I think the second one chasing Neo, and then he's got to go fly through the mountains to save Trinity. Well, or to save Morpheus. Well, that's them dudes are like the Navy SEALs. Like, in real life, the Navy SEALs are basically those guys. Their representation in the movie is pretty much spot on to like the Navy SEALs. And then you could go down the level, like, you know, the local bureaucrat dickhead clerk at the DMV that fucks you just for like looking at them funny or something because they got such a shitty job that they hate themselves. Like, that's a government agent too. Like, you know, in the Matrix when the Agent Smith will just come out of nowhere and because he'll take like a lower level cop. Well, that's exactly how it works. Like, in the Matrix movie, if there was never a scene where he went to the DMV, but if there was, there could be an agent transforming into the DMV clerk's body. Like, the DMV clerk would become Agent Smith. That's how this shit works, buddy. Like, there's very few government bureaucrats that aren't on this level. Even if they're necessary and important, they're still an agent to the system, and they have to be destroyed because that system is born out of evil and it has no place in reality. As long as it has authority, it has authority over you because you gave it to him, because it couldn't exist if you didn't give it to him. So all you gotta do to shut down the Matrix is unplug it, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm the one, buddy. I am Neo. I'm the only person who knows any of this stuff. You people do not have eyes to see. You've not eyes to see. You've not ears to hear. You barely got a mouth to speak. Every fucking time some of you people talk, it's nothing but hey, bro, I shit my pants, bro. Bro, you see that babe over there? Oh, I heard a good one the other day. This fucking idiot in the gym is like, bro, I'd hit that raw, no question. I was in my head, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna beat your ass for saying that. That girl deserves more respect than that, for one thing. Like, yeah, she's beautiful, and obviously as a man, you're driven to want her, but, like, what the fuck is wrong with you, buddy? For one thing, you can't ever get that girl, ever. None of you can. Even if you get her for a short time, you really don't have her. I know all your relationships. I see how your girl looks at me in the store and shit. Like, she don't want you, buddy. She's just there because you're the next best thing. And you ain't even the next best thing. You're like probably the fourth, fifth best thing down the line from what she wants. But she's got to settle because the fucking Matrix sucks cock. And then, okay, so yeah, I guess we'll leave it at that. Let that fire burn slow. There are so many examples of the Matrix system set up around you that it's unbelievable. And the reason you know the Bible is true is because the 7 deadly sins are incorporated into every single one of them that is used to enslave you. Okay, so we're just going to go over every sin, and I'm going to explain how they work into the Matrix system and how they're used against you. I didn't plan this, so this will go a little weird. But the first one I'm going to go with is, like, people that are addicted to gambling and going to the casino or going to the horse races. I don't even know what to begin to say about these people. The worst are the slot jockeys. If you're a slot jockey, oh my God. You are just the lowest of the low. You're living a nightmare I can't even fathom. But you could even go in on the high rolling poker players like Phil Hellmuth and fucking that weird black dude that robbed the casino for $10 million or whatever. There's just that they might seem cool to you, but they're trapped in a nightmare of a Matrix scenario that you don't want to be in. Like, you might think it's cool to win $10,000 on just some random horse race or something, or $100,000. Like, that is not cool. That's a sin. That is literally one of the 7 deadly sins. I believe it's wrath. I could be wrong on that. There's definitely a lot of pride involved with this and greed. But honestly, in the end, I believe it to be wrath, because you're not driven by the winning of the actual money, because that's evidenced in the fact that you're not doing it for financial considerations, like to pay your bills. Some of you people are, which I respect that a little bit, but even then you're still engaging in a system you shouldn't be engaged in, so you should get out while you can and do something that's good. Because if you are making money, like if you're a professional gambler and you're actually, like the dude from Rounders, he's like, you see every angle, but you ain't got the stones to play one. Well, that's kind of it's kind of what you are in a way. Like that's a terrible existence. I'd get out of that too and just build with something good instead of playing into the system. Because if you play into this rigged sports system that you're betting in, I mean, yeah, you can make money on it, but you're still involved in the system. If the system has to die for this world to get to where it's going. Okay, so we're gonna go into some other examples here now. Oh man, I'm gonna just use meatheads, because you guys know me, I'm fucking in the gym all the time. Meatheads are hilarious. The vanity involved with a meathead is unbelievable. I watch you people all day long, and not one person I've ever seen in the gym has an actual goal of attaining absolute strength. Like the thing from the Dragon Ball Super, the way it ended, where Jiren was talking about strength being absolute. Well, that's real. And none of you are working towards a strength on that level. You're all doing this in a vain nightmare. It actually ties into Dragon Ball Z as well, quite a bit. Because in Dragon Ball Z, all of the other fighters that don't have success aren't fighting for absolute strength. Goku is the only one who is fighting for absolute strength. Same with Vegeta. Those are the only two, actually. And they're the only two getting anywhere in leveling up and powering up. Like, you look at a meathead in the gym, they're half-assing their workout, and they don't even realize that if they actually just drop the weight down about 15 pounds and do it right, they'll get a heck of a lot better benefit on it. But even that being said, like, even if you lift as well as I do and focus as well as I do on perfecting lifting and feeling every square inch of your body, every square centimeter of your body, every square millimeter of your body, I can feel my body in ways you can't imagine. Nobody else in the gym is doing that. You're all there for vanity. There's a little pride involved with that, and I guess some greed, because you want to try to get some girls. Most of you got a small dick, so you got to figure out a way to get lucky and get greedy with the girls. I mean, we got lust involved here. I would even say there's a lot of gluttony involved with going to the gym, too. I mean, I've seen a dude eating a Rice Krispie treat while he was working out. Like, he was doing the leg press while he was eating a Rice Krispie treat, because apparently he believes that sugar boosts your workout or something, as if Rice Krispie doesn't completely destroy your microbiome. Your digestive microbiome is fucking insane. Your intestines are getting destroyed when you eat a Rice Krispie treat. You're not getting any gains from it. That's what all you people do. Every single one of you has a sugar-filled fattening drink when you're in the gym. I don't know how you've fallen for that system of matrix control. Like, the best thing you could do before a workout is eat nothing but a bunch of salt. Like, you take about a teaspoon of salt before you go work out, bet you have the best workout of your life. Either that, or you eat a pound of liver before you go work out. Just take a pound of raw liver, raw beef liver, raw chicken liver, I don't care. Just take it, cut it up into little pieces, put it in your mouth, and swallow the pieces of meat down with some water. Eat a whole pound of it, and then go work out. I know that sounds gross, but just do it. It's actually easier than you think, because when you put the water in your mouth to swallow it down, you barely taste it. So just eat a pound of liver as your pre-workout and see what I'm talking about. Or eat a teaspoon of salt, because a lot of you won't do the liver. Just do nothing, eat nothing, but grab a teaspoon of salt before you go work out. You're going to see exactly what I'm talking about here. Okay, now we can get into video gaming. Video gaming is a culture thing that is just a culture killer on a number of levels. You're seeing violent images in your head all day long. Your brain's going to be destroyed. It's the same thing as porn. I mean, porn is just putting imagery into your head that's destroying your brain, like your ability to even think and function and feel. That's what happens when you watch violent imagery in movies and television. It's okay to watch, like, you know, I like Terminator 2. I like it. I've seen The Matrix 9,000 times probably, and I'm not even exaggerating. So, like, I mean, I'm okay with a little bit of violence here and there, but, like, most of you people are just constantly staring at it all day long. When you're putting imagery into your head that isn't right and isn't good, you're just going to get bad results from it, and the result you get is that you can't think. I'm going to end up making tons of videos on this, but since I quit porn, I didn't have the problem with the video games or anything like that. I actually didn't even think I had a problem with porn, but what I found out was the way imagery destroys your brain. You basically make it so you can't think from doing these things that put these images in front of your head all day long constantly. It's basically like, it's no different than any other drug. And in the case of porn, you're going to have withdrawals from it. Like, you can look up porn withdrawals from NoFap, and everybody has them. There's been people who have committed suicide because the withdrawal from watching porn was so bad. The same exact thing applies with video, violent imagery and anything like that. Like, these people out here that are sitting there going Marilyn Manson style and, like, just, like, watching the sickest shit they can just because, like, for whatever reason that entertains their brain. Well, the trade-off you're getting from that entertaining of your brain is that your brain no longer works, and basically you've trained your brain to want that thing more than anything, and due to this, your brain will play tricks on you to make you want it. So it'll make you feel anxious or whatever, and then when you give the brain that pornography back or that violent video game back, well, what happens is it gets satisfied and it starts to work a little better. So your own brain plays tricks on you to get you to give whatever it wants. So, like, that's why it's so difficult to break a habit, is because your brain will fight you. You have to literally go to war with your own mindset. And that applies to the Matrix in general. That'd be the main lesson on how to break out of the Matrix. That's all Neo did in the movie. That's all I did to myself, is I allowed myself I just allowed myself to do it. I turned everything off in my brain, and I went to war with my brain, and I conquered it. And once you can conquer your brain, you can get out of the system you're in. And like I was saying about the goo foods, like the goo foods are the same thing as the pornography or any of these other systems of control that have you in the Matrix system. Is the goo food makes your brain not work the exact same way I just described as the pornography and all that, but it's actually 10 times worse when it comes to the food system. The foods, like, you have your comfort foods. You know, everybody out there, actually, this is what I do. I watch everybody's cart. Like, if I'm in the grocery store and you have a cart, I watch everything you have in there. I have yet to see a person who hasn't been addicted to soda. Every person in America is addicted to soda. Now, I'm kind of exaggerating because I know there are people that aren't, but, like, go to the grocery store sometime. I guarantee you the first thing they put on the conveyor belt is the soda. Well, that soda's rotting your brain, but it's not only rotting your brain, it's rotting your intestinal tract, and your intestinal tract also acts as a second brain. Your brain isn't inside your head. Your brain is inside your gut as well. It connects all the way through. See that stuff you put into your mouth, and it goes down your throat and into your stomach? Well, that system determines if your brain is going to work. It's a 2-in-1 system. It's called the gut-brain connection. There's tons of... If you look up the gut-brain connection in autism, it's very, 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 very clear. I mean, okay, but getting back to the point, like, when you put the food is so much worse, because when you put a Matrix food into your intestinal tract, it wipes out your intestinal tract, and from that, you're going to have incredible health problems. Like, when you're putting violent imagery into your head, you're only damaging your brain. But when you put a damaging food into your intestinal tract, you're doing innumerable things. You can leach you can leach fat into the bloodstream. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. It comes out in your health problems, but really all that's happening inside your body is pathways are not correcting, or they're not connecting correctly. because of the foods you eat. So like, there's just no other way to explain this other than for you to actually commit to a system of food that's a 100% whole food diet of all healthy food, like kind of like how our ancestors ate. You don't eat anything from a box. If you put down all your boxed foods for a month, your matrix goo foods, well, put them down for a month. You're gonna be amazed at how well your brain functions. The entire reason I'm so adamant about everything that I say is because that's what did everything for me. The very moment in history that I decided to change my diet is when my brain began to work. One of my favorite videos is this man, Dr. Keith Motley. I believe he's he's a applied kinesiologist, which is a form of chiropractic. He's a really smart guy. He's awesome, actually. He did a ton of videos on YouTube that are all great. But his video was low carb diet and how it improves brain function. You have no idea how badly carbohydrates affect your brain function. Your brain cannot work if it is given carbohydrates, especially simple carbohydrates. It's fine to eat a lot of complex carbohydrates as long as they're non-wheat flour based, and there's a few other things to work out or to look out for on that. But any simple carbohydrate that you consume is destroying your brain, and that's the main system of matrix control that they've got you under right now. I know I started this ending on the subject of the various forms of control, but I guess I just got into this one. I'm going to end it here, but if I can think of any other personality types that I could go in on, I'm going to do that. Wound up thinking of a good one for all you Matrix slaves out there. Think of the time you run into a person like me online and you call them a conspiracy theorist or an Alex Jones listener. Like, no matter what you do when you slap a label like that onto somebody, that is exactly what the Matrix wants you to do. You could never break the system if you react to anybody who's out of it in the manner you have done so for so long. Don't even tell me that you haven't. It is almost universal that before I got kicked off Facebook, I would either be called the Unabomber, an Alex Jones fan, a Fox News fan. It really all depends on how ignorant the person is to what level of attack they're going at you with. Like, I kind of respect the dudes that called me the Unabomber because at least they're paying attention to me. Like, when I get told I'm listening to Fox News, I'm not going to lie, it fucking enrages me. Or Alex Jones, too. Like, I listen to Alex Jones because I listen to everybody, and, like, I don't even understand how InfoWars is a thing. Like, he does have some good information sometimes, but, like, when you watch the Alex Jones show, I swear to God, it's like 80% advertisements. When I watch the show, I'm like, where's the show? I'm supposed to be learning something, aren't I? And I literally was like, the show was happening, and I was like, where's the show? So you piss me the fuck off when you call me that shit. Like, and it doesn't piss me off because it hurts my feelings. It makes me mad because I can tell how ignorant and how trapped into a worldview you are. When you instantly label somebody as something just because they think a certain idea is true or not, you're just playing into the system of control that the Matrix has created to control you with. It's exactly what I was saying, like with Neo. You have to believe, and if you don't believe, you can't get out. And if you're going to instantly call me an Alex Jones fan for saying something you haven't known before, because I ain't going to tell you something that ain't true. Or if I do tell you something that I know isn't true, I'm going to be like, yeah, I can't prove this, but this is what I think might be true. And that's a lot of things. One of the last videos I made, I started out saying, I think. You got to believe. And you can't believe if the first thing your brain does when it confronts something that it's not used to is to reject it and just shun it. And that's exactly what you're doing when you falsely label the person as something just because they might know something that you don't. And actually, that just bringing this to the bottom line of everything and coming back to the programming, it's the exact same thing with that. Like, you're sitting here you're sitting here telling the person with the new idea he's crazy, instead of just taking that time to maybe learn from him and be like, wait, you said this. How come you said that? That doesn't make sense to me. Can you explain that? You don't ever do that. Most of you honestly can't even read. Like, I'm so happy to be kicked off Facebook, because of what I realize now is you cannot write something to anyone and get through to them. You can only speak it to them. The level of intelligence that the average person is at, and their lack of an attention span and all of that, and just everything about the matrix system has it so your brain doesn't work, so you can't even write to people anymore. That's why books don't matter. The pen is not mightier than the sword. I'll cut you in half verbally. With a pen, I literally can't even get you to pay attention. That's why I'm so happy to be kicked off of Facebook. There's so many matrix zombie slaves on there, it's ridiculous. Like, I could write out an entire diatribe completely perfectly explaining something, and the person will respond with completely incoherent, rambling, absolutely nothing to do with the subject at hand, and it's clear that they literally do not even have reading comprehension skills. So at that point, like, I reached that point with almost everybody on Facebook, and now that I finally got kicked off, I realized that how futile and how much time I had wasted upon that stupid site, when I could just, I don't have to have any middleman. I don't even have to look at what you say. I'm just going to tell you what I know. And there's no other fucking way around it, because you're not smart enough to read. You can barely pay attention to a movie, let alone a book. I mean, come on, buddy. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but just think about yourself for a second. Like, you see it all the time. You can watch people chasing their lack of attention span around all the time. Just look at the way a person goes on their phone. Just like people watch them. Just watch a person on their phone sometimes. You can literally see a visual example of exactly what I'm talking about. You're guilty of it too. I don't want to say it's like completely controls your life, because it doesn't for a lot of you, but it has enough control on you where it's very easy to notice your lack of attention span, whether you can see it or not. It's just, like I said, it's not trying to be mean or anything. It's a whole system of control that you don't even realize is there. So it's not even it kind of is your fault, and it kind of isn't your fault. I mean, that's the same way with everything. As above, so below. As within, so without. That applies to everything, literally everything. That's you want to know what life is? That's life in a nutshell. As above, so below. As within, so without. And then there's endless combinations of that on everything. There isn't a thing in existence that doesn't apply to that rule. Good night and good luck. And remember, all praise and glory is due to Jesus Christ, because without Jesus Christ, you can't be you. Well, it looks like I'm making the Matrix 5 on this one. We're gonna go in on the medical mafia and their little paradigm they got going on. I'm gonna use my example of my experience online. Basically, every person online I've ever run into has called me a schizophrenic. Yeah, I don't mind if you consider me to have mental problems, but I damn well am not a schizophrenic. If you have ever met an actual schizophrenic, you would know right off the bat that I am not one. You clearly do not know anything at all about mental health if you consider a person like me to be a schizophrenic. Or a schizophrenic can't even do basic daily functions. And if you don't understand that's just a sign you haven't put a single second of your life into studying the topic of mental health. You just broadly label something based upon an idea you saw in a movie. Like, you people do that with everything. I just used the medical mafia as an example of the perfect way this comes out in everyday life. And it's just another system of control to keep you in, because that medical mafia is actually what runs the world. Like, the entire system of slavery is built around that medical mafia. The medical mafia is actually working completely hand in hand with the food system, to put you on a conveyor belt towards death. You're literally on a conveyor belt from birth until death of consumerism. That is the Matrix. Like, when you're born, you pay what, like 50 grand for a kid now? You can pop a kid out in your living room with a home birth that's way safer than that damn hospital. And it's actually better for a child to be brought into a non-sterile environment in the first place. I mean, it's got to be clean, but it doesn't have to be freaking sterile like they claim a hospital is. And even in a hospital, the dirtiest place you could even go. So that's an absurd notion within itself. Like, if you think of a hospital as a clean place, oh my God, dude, you got some serious issues. Like, that place is a fucking mayhem factory. It's nothing but death and destruction. You see every person walking in and out of the doors. They can't even freaking walk. You'd think if you go to a hospital, they'd send you out of there walking right. But no, they can't teach you basic physical therapy to show you how to fix your hip problem that's going to cause you to have a broken hip. They don't teach you anything. Like, you think a hospital is good, but not one person in a hospital could tell you how to reverse your osteoarthritis. I could show you how to do it easily. I showed my own brother how to do it, and he'll tell you exactly what happened. He didn't believe me, and then he tried it, and so what do you know? It works. You can build your bone back by feeding the body the raw material it needs to regrow itself. A hospital is never going to tell you that. And you have no idea about any of this, but yet you use their broad labeling system to manufacture a very, very poor excuse to ignore something because it takes work for you to look into it. Like, that's why you call me a schizophrenic every time you ever saw me on Facebook. I know what I'm saying sounds very odd to you, and it probably does make me sound crazy to you because of the paradigm that you're trapped into via your mind. This exists within everything. You do this to everybody about everything. You can't tell me that you don't, because I've run into it with every person. Even people that I like and that listen to me, like, they kind of passive-aggressively listen. Like, they're my friend and everything, and they're, like, interested in what I'm saying, and they agree. But if you don't actually put it into practice in your own life, like, why are you even listening to me then? And also, why am I even talking to you? Which is kind of why I like doing this, because this way you have to come listen to me. You're here, you're just going to listen to me, or you're not. It's kind of like what Jesus did. He didn't go chase anybody down and make them talk to him. That's what I was wasting all my time doing, and then I would complain about these stupid reactions from you when all it is you being trapped in the Matrix. I'm already out. I've been out for a while. I'm the one. I already told you that. I am the one. I know I am. You say there's, 7 billion people alive? I'll take them all down. There ain't one of you that's going to walk up to me and beat me in anything. I'm going to own you through power of mind. And that's because I create no excuses. I create no labels. I create no false sense of identity that you have molded a false sense of identity. And essentially, this kind of comes back to what Jesus is saying about the only people who get into heaven are those who are that of a child, that of the mind state of a child. If you do not have the constant wondrous amazement with everything around you that a child has, then you have lost your identity, and you are not going to advance spiritually, because you can't even create a oneness within yourself with that which is around you, because you have preconceived notions about that which is around you, which blind you from actually seeing